morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I am Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. Misery, misery, misery. That's what they've chosen. Niners went out for the second straight week and fell, looking like a shell of themselves, losing to the Minnesota Vikings 22-17. The defense was terrible. They allowed 452 total yards. They did not sack Kirk Cousins a single time in his 45 dropbacks. Terrible job by the 49ers. Crucial play came before halftime. Vikings have no timeouts. There's about 15 seconds left, and Steve Wilks calls an all-out blitz for some reason with no safety help. Vikings receiver wrestles the ball away from Charvarius Ward, runs for a 60-yard touchdown, and the Vikings never look back after that. Very, very disappointing. Offensively for the 49ers, Brock Purdy, 2 fourth-quarter interceptions in the game with chances to retake the lead. We'll get to him in a bit, though, because there were some very interesting comments from defensive players after the game. Listen to Fred Warner.
The thing right now with us is we got to find ways to win the grimy games, the ones that it's not looking great, and find a way. Obviously we can win 30-10, but who are we and what are we going to do when we're down and we got to come back and win a game? We've shown obviously what we're capable of, like our best version of ourselves. But at the end of the day, I want us to be, I want our mental toughness to go up. I want to win in any form or fashion. Like, I don't care if it's ugly. Like, all right, we'll figure it out later on. But let's find a way to get this done. It's back to the drawing board. Obviously, we got a big game coming up against the Bengals at home. It's a must win.
Yes, Fred. That is exactly right. No notes for you. That he nailed it. And let's see what the 49ers do going forward. And he wasn't the only guy to say interesting things. Listen to Nick Bosa talk about the play of the defensive line.
We have a lot of really good players on the D-line and obviously a lot invested in it. And you have to make the plays when they're there. You kind of get lulled to sleep by some of the protections, and when those ops come, you have to be ready for them. And I'm not sure how it went for the other three guys. I could only focus on myself, and there was definitely a couple opportunities there where I could have changed the game, and I need to do that with the kind of player I'm supposed to be.
There is no question that Bosa and the rest of the D-line have underperformed this year. They have, without exception. It's disappointing. Hopefully it can get turned around, but Bosa was exactly right. He also would go on to say that when the team was 5-0, they started feeling themselves, thinking that they were the team that they needed to be already. Guess what? Turns out you're not. And the 49ers found that out in a big way for the second straight week. Before we go, let's listen to Brock Purdy, who is turning the ball over more than the 49ers can deal with right now. He was not happy after the game either.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. 2 in a row. It's the NFL. Every team is good. It doesn't matter who you're going against, what the record is, or anything like that. We didn't come into the week taking this team lightly. We knew it was going to be a hostile environment. It was going to be a great challenge. Our defense was really good. Kirk Cousins is really good. So it's like, for us, we came in with the right mindset. We just got to execute better. But for me, and a second one in a row hurts, obviously, but we just got to be better, and got a big one ahead this week too.
San Francisco generally moved the ball well when they had it, but they weren't scoring, whether that's because Jake Moody missed field goals, which he did miss another one tonight, did make from 55, though, to be fair to him, or whether it was just because they just were fumbling the ball like Christian McCaffrey for the second straight week or second time in 3 weeks, I should say, in the opponent's red zone. They are not scoring enough right now. They used to score 30 every week. Now they can't even get over 20. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Tuesday, grades. I will have them up this morning. Little reaction. Trying to do them a little bit later now to give myself time to watch the game a little more, cool off a little bit, but I will have them up for you today. Not going to be a lot of A's handed out. I'll just say that, coming off a second straight loss. One thing to watch, injuries as always. The good news is The only injury after the game, Demetrius Flanagan-Foles, was a leg injury, I believe. Didn't look serious, but again, we always have to wait for the after-game conference call before we make that call. Plus, we don't know how Christian McCaffrey is going to feel. Dre Greenlaw got banged up in this game as well, so that conference call going to be very, very important, as it always is. One thing you may have missed comes from Josh Dubow of the Associated Press. The 49ers are now 15-33 under Kyle Shanahan when losing by 7 points or less in the fourth quarter. That is 19th best in the NFL. And the Niners are 0-36 under Kyle Shanahan when trailing by 8 or more in the fourth quarter. And yes, that does include the playoffs. So look, I said it in the Instant Reaction Show, which I encourage you to go watch on YouTube or download the podcast if that's how you choose to listen. Right now, the 49ers are front runners. When things go great, they look great. But when they have adversity and they need to come from behind, they have not been able to do it. Certainly not with any consistency. That is job one for Kyle Shanahan the rest of the way. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Enjoy your Monday, everybody. Excuse me. Stay tuned for the Bully Ball Podcast with Steph Sanchez and Jason Aponte. That comes live at 8 a.m. Pacific time. I'm sure they are going to have plenty to say about this loss. Hope you join us for that. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk later today.